As we approach spring 2025, the influence of La Niña is already shaping our weather patterns. This year, we're seeing a significant impact on the jet stream over the North Pacific. A high-pressure system is settling in over the United States, while Canada is grappling with a low-pressure zone. This sets the stage for a dynamic transition from winter to summer. So far this winter, we've experienced a notable low-pressure area dominating the eastern United States and southeastern Canada, paired with a high-pressure zone on the west coast. This combination has resulted in a persistent northerly flow, ushering in colder air across the region. As we move into March, April, and May, expect a roller coaster of weather dynamics influenced by the recent resurgence of La Niña. From fluctuating temperatures to unexpected storms, this spring promises to be anything but predictable. Keep an eye on the skies. It's going to be an interesting season ahead. The stronger the pressure difference between high and low systems, the more intense the northerly flow becomes, pulling down frigid air from the polar regions. This winter, we're witnessing the effects of this pattern vividly. The long-term temperature analysis shows lower than normal temperatures across the northern, north central, and eastern United States, while northern and eastern Canada, along with parts of the western United States, have been warmer than usual. However, January tells a different story. The northerly flow has intensified, ushering in some of the coldest air we've seen in years, leaving much of the United States colder than normal, while Canada remains above average. When we look at precipitation, the northwest and northern regions, along with parts of the eastern and southern United States, have seen more moisture. In contrast, the southwestern United States, Central Plains, and East Coast are experiencing drier conditions. And as for snowfall, since October 1st, we've seen significant accumulation across a large portion of the United States, even reaching the deep South Coast. This winter is shaping up to be one for the record books. As we dive into February, it's clear that winter is putting on its final show. The extended range ensembles reveal a persistent high-pressure zone in the North Pacific, while a low-pressure system dominates Canada and the northwestern United States. This setup is causing cold air to pool over the Pacific Northwest, while the southern and southeastern states enjoy a warmer reprieve. If we look at the surface temperature forecast, we can see that chilly air is firmly in place across the northwestern United States and western Canada. Meanwhile, the upper Midwest and northeastern states are experiencing normal to colder temperatures. This pattern suggests that as we move through the month, we can expect several cold air events to sweep down from the northwest, bringing a taste of winter back to the Northeast. So, buckle up. February is set to deliver some dramatic weather shifts. February is shaping up to be quite interesting across eastern Canada and the southern United States, with temperatures expected to be normal to above normal. Meanwhile, the southwestern United States and Central Plains are looking at less precipitation, which could impact water resources. On the flip side, the Pacific Northwest is gearing up for more rain and snowfall, which is great news for those areas. But here's where it gets intriguing. The upper Midwest and eastern United States are facing an elevated snowfall potential due to cooler temperatures and increased precipitation. This weather pattern mirrors what we typically see from significant ocean anomalies in the Pacific. These anomalies have a well-documented influence on spring weather across the United States and Canada. So as we dive into February, keep an eye on how these patterns unfold. They could set the stage for what's to come in the spring. La Niña is making waves this spring, and its influence on North America is significant. Over the past couple of months, we've seen a strengthening of this cold ocean phenomenon in the tropical Pacific. The colder than normal surface waters are a clear indicator of La Niña, stretching across the central and western equatorial Pacific, driven by robust trade winds. This isn't just a weather quirk, it's part of the larger ENSO cycle, which alternates between warm and cold phases. The latest ocean temperature anomalies reveal that these negative anomalies have intensified, setting the stage for shifts in weather patterns across the United States and Canada. Expect cooler, wetter conditions in some areas and drier weather in others. La Niña is not just a name. It's a powerful force shaping our climate this season. During La Niña seasons, the jet stream shifts, creating distinct weather patterns across the United States and Canada. This altered path often brings colder temperatures and increased storm activity to the northern and northwestern regions. Meanwhile, the southern and eastern states experience warmer and drier conditions, effectively splitting the country into two weather poles. In the north, we see more frequent cold and wet events as the jet stream directs storms into these areas. This year, with a weak La Nina, we can expect above average snowfall from January to March, particularly in the northern United States and southern Canada. The Pacific Northwest, especially its higher elevations, is likely to receive the peak snowfall, making it a winter wonderland. Understanding these patterns helps us prepare for the unique weather La Nina brings each season. This winter, the north-central United States, particularly the Dakotas, Nebraska, and Minnesota, experienced a snowy season, typical of weak La Nina years. Interestingly, while the Northeast saw more snowfall, the Southeast faced a drier winter. Looking ahead to spring 2025, the ECMWF forecast reveals a classic La Nina high-pressure system in the North Pacific with a low-pressure system over Canada. This setup brings colder air from the north, while the southern ridge strengthens, leading to warmer temperatures in the southern United States. Expect normal to even colder than normal temperatures in the northwestern United States and upper Midwest, while the Northeast may enjoy more typical conditions. It's a fascinating interplay of weather patterns shaping our spring. Despite warmer than normal forecasts, the central United States often experiences unexpected cold snaps and even snow in early spring, thanks to shifting jet stream patterns. Meanwhile, the far south and southwestern regions are likely to bask in above-average temperatures. The North American precipitation anomaly reveals a classic La Nina pattern, bringing wetter conditions to the northwest and east, while the southwest and southeast brace for drier spells. This combination of colder temperatures and varying precipitation levels impacts snowfall potential significantly. For the February to April period, we can expect above-normal snowfall across a vast stretch from western Canada down through the northern plains, upper Midwest, and into the Northeast. Much of this snow is likely to stem from data collected in February and early March, painting a vivid picture of a spring shaped by La Nina influences. The United Kingdom Meteorology Organization's first spring season forecast is in, and it's intriguing. Unlike the ECMWF, the United Kingdom Met Office model provides a unique perspective, allowing us to compare outcomes. Both models agree on a high-pressure system over the North Pacific, which is promising. Interestingly, while there's no clear low-pressure anomaly, we do see a low-pressure zone forming over Canada, slightly more to the west than the ECMWF suggests. As spring approaches, the southern ridge is expected to strengthen, a familiar pattern for the southern United States. The temperature forecast reveals a La Nina-like pattern, with colder temperatures lingering over western Canada and extending into the northwestern United States. However, the rest of the country appears free from cold anomalies, likely due to that main low-pressure zone being pushed further west. This dynamic could lead to a fascinating spring ahead. Less snowfall than usual is on the horizon for the southern half of the United States, including the northeastern region. This trend might be influenced by February's snowfall data, which we'll dive into in our upcoming analysis. Looking ahead to spring, the official temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center shows a fascinating picture. The northern United States is likely to experience colder temperatures or equal chances, while the southern half and the northeast are leaning towards warmer conditions. Interestingly, there's an area of equal probability in the central United States, hinting at the movement of cold air from the northwestern United States and western Canada. As for precipitation, the forecast suggests a higher likelihood of increased rainfall in the eastern United States, particularly across the Ohio Valley and the Pacific Northwest. Meanwhile, the southwestern United States is bracing for a drier than normal spring. It's a season of contrasts, and the weather patterns are shaping up to be quite intriguing.